Welcome back to the Off-Grid Current with Lithionics. I'm Gillian Andresen, your host, and we're so excited to be back for the second episode where we talk a little bit about the marine market. And we actually have a fantastic special guest, our second guest, Phil Silberhorn. He does account management for sales, and he is really our expert, our go-to when it comes to marine systems. And this week we'll be diving into marine. So welcome, Phil. We're so happy to have you.
Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, of course, of course. So tell us a little bit about your background here at Lithionics.
So I go way back. I was back in 2011 when we first started being a marketable, viable product. After they've done, the initial engineering and ready to go to the market, we started, believe it or not, with race car batteries.
Wow.
In carbon fiber cases because they were lightweight, and we were in all kinds of different types of racing vehicles. And from there, we did a lot of innovation. Of course, back then, it was just a few of us to begin with. So I was doing all the sales and marketing. They even let me do some of even the inventing of some of the products that we use.
How many people was that?
So we had like 3 to begin with.
Wow.
And it expanded very quickly.
Yeah.
And the markets really changed. We finally found, different markets that were even more excited about lithium. Of course, it went from the race car batteries to other markets such as professional fishermen using these for their batteries. Then we went into the RV market, as you know, where Winnebago now, we've made a mark with them. And then the marine market. And the marine market is just where I've had just a real passion for. I just, for some reason, just gravitated. It's very similar to the RV market, right? Because it's house power. It's inverted energy going from DC to AC. But I just really have enjoyed working with the marine applications and the marine customers. And that's where I've been just kind of specializing a lot in.
That's awesome. And, over this time you've been innovating. What has really been the goal in all of this from the start?
Well, from the very beginning, it was very clear that we were out to build the safest lithium battery.
Right.
And safety was always number one. And in fact, we were the first ones to fireproof lithium batteries.
Wow.
Back when they didn't have the technology to really contain and make the batteries so that they wouldn't catch fire, we actually made fireproof blankets that went over the cells. And so we were the very first. In fact, we even had racers where batteries would fall out of their car from a crash and it would tumble and it would still be working.
Wow.
And in other bays, they would have competitors' batteries catch on fire and ours would never had an incident. So just safety has always been number one. And then when new technology became out of where the cells could be made safer, we always embraced it. We were the first to embrace technology that would make it so that the cells would even pass a nail puncture test. So if you punctured the cells, instead of them catching on fire like other competitors' batteries would, ours would not do that. So safety has been number one. And over time, that has really come to really be our shining star, because we have had such a reputation in the safety element.
Right.
And then reliability, testing every battery. I mean, nobody does that. Completely discharges it and charges it and data graphs it and puts a computer on it. And so doing that, safety and then reliability, that has really propelled us and kept us growing over the years.
Let's talk about marine lithium systems. According to verified market research, lithium-ion batteries made up approximately 62.7% of the global marine battery market in 2023. So this is a strong indicator that more boaters are upgrading to lithium systems. So definitely a majority, which is great for us. What would you say, a typical setup looks like, and then what people are transforming their systems into?
Well, although we do both house power, which is inverted energy with inverters, and propulsion, the house power systems for their air conditioning, their refrigerators, using basically for their AC power. It's very similar to the RV market, actually. The only difference with the marine market is the extra savings in weight with lithium is a big plus. And also, I think the marine sees even a more benefit to getting rid of the generator because there's so much work, repair, so much maintenance and upkeep and expense of keeping a generator. But with a lightweight lithium battery pack replacing all that maintenance free, that's been a big plus.
Yeah, a game changer.
Oh yeah.
And do you think that's really what's driving the interest? What do you think is driving the interest?
Definitely. I was just at the Chicago International Boat Show just last week, and that's what I heard the most is, boy, yeah, the generator. If we could just get rid of the generator. So those that haven't embraced it yet, they're already feeling the pain of if we just could get rid of this generator and have quiet, clean power with no maintenance. And that's what I heard the most over there. And a lot of interest with ones that haven't yet embraced lithium. The few that said that they tried lithium in the past, that unfortunately they didn't get a good quality lithium, but they said we didn't have a good experience. But the manufacturers and OEMs that have gone with us, once they get lithium, they never go back to lead acid and generator. It's the quiet, clean energy. And really the maintenance-free aspect of it. You're not even changing batteries every 2 years like the lead acid or AGM. I mean, these batteries will last 8, 10 or more years. I mean, literally, I have batteries right now that operate camera systems on the U.S.-Mexico border that have been in operation since 2013.
Wow.
And they're still going. And so, the idea of that it's maintenance-free for a long time, that's an appealing as well.
And can you break that down a little more? So, with a generator, you're filling up with usually gas, and then what kind of issues do people run into with generators?
That's a really good point. Besides the gas savings, besides the gas savings, there are always mechanical failures. They're besides changing the oil, normal maintenance, just the breakdowns, and then getting them back, and then the not only the expense, but the inconvenience of having a generator down and how you're going to get it fixed, who's going to fix it while you're out and about. With our lithium battery systems, because we like to run our batteries in parallel instead of series, if one battery goes down, you're still going.
Right.
And so you have so much redundancy. And I think that's a big aspect to marine is they don't want to be out in the water and be dead in the water.
Yeah, that would not be good.
If they want to make sure that whatever happens, there's a contingency plan to keep on going. And lithium does give that, especially with our parallel system. So we have the 12-volt batteries, and however many they have, they can plug into a combiner box and then into a BMS. And any one of those batteries can be removed and you can run on whatever batteries are remaining. And so the redundancy, some of them even have multiple BMSs. And so the redundancy is great. It's quiet. There's no maintenance, and then they'll last so much longer out in the water. But it's very much similar to the RV market. They're taking DC power. Mm-hmm. They're going to an inverter, and then that inverter powers all of their AC, 120 volt items such as their refrigerator, even their air conditioning, anything that they want to power. It gives them AC power without being tied to the grid.
Right.
And so the RV market has just exploded, and I see now the marine market now catching up. They're really seeing the benefits of what the RV market has accomplished, and they are now embracing more and more lithium for the same reasons.
And then on top of that, we always have to bring it back to the safety.
Oh yeah. Having UL listing is so huge in the marine segment.
Yeah.
Because insurance companies, if you have a lithium battery and it's not UL, some of them had a hard time getting insurance for their boat. But the very fact that it has the highest safety certification, our batteries have the official UL 1973 sticker.
Yeah.
And the system is fully UL. It's not just has a UL lithium cell inside.
Yeah, that's what I see everywhere.
Yeah.
Is it's just the cells.
Yes.
But ours is the whole thing that you see right here,
Absolutely.
Basically.
Yeah.
As opposed to just the inside.
And that UL sticker, they have another big one that's actually has to be special ordered that can last.
Oh yeah. I think we have it on this one.
So cool. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that sticker will live longer than a human.
It's a pretty serious sticker.
Oh yeah, they have to be specially ordered.
Yeah.
We can't print them. They have to be so that they can't fade. That's an official UL listed, and it has all the certifications. And but what that means is the safety because of that. In multi-million-dollar yachts, these are in sleeping quarters.
Yeah.
That's how safe they are. They're so safe that they're not going to be, because when you're out in an RV and there's an incident, you can get out of the RV. When you're in a boat, it's a lot more dangerous. And so that UL listing is, just from a personal safety standpoint, but then also when getting insurance and whatnot, there are a lot requests specifically Lithionics because of the safety aspect.
Yeah, and now we're going to sort of get into the projects that you've worked on, because now a lot of different organizations are trying to use lithium and solar to create more environmentally friendly, systems.
Yes, so we've done a number of propulsion systems. A lot of the propulsion systems is a little bit lower voltage. We'll do basically 48 volt, which we call 51 volt. We do 102 volt, and we've even done some 144 volt propulsion systems. But in the house power segment, we are so unlimited in the scalability. We've done huge projects with multiple banks of 6 51 volt 165 amp hour batteries and several banks of those connected all together so that they can have so much runtime before needing recharge. We recently did a project called Firefly, and we have many other Coast Guard approved because of our safety record. We have a lot of Coast Guard approved installations of our batteries, and these are huge systems where the vessel can really operate for days on just battery power. And then they have different recharging capabilities through solar, through alternator. Of course, we have shore power charging as well. But we've done massive systems. We've been in fact, the battery that's recommended for the Nordhaven yachts. We're in a lot of the Nordhaven yachts. Those are the batteries because of the safety aspect. We've had great success with that, and several other, even state projects where they have tour boats, glass bottom boats, where they take people out on tours, and the states really love our batteries again for the safety aspect. So when all those people get on the boat, they can feel, well, it has a Lithionics battery, UL listed, it has the highest safety certification. So we have a lot of special tour boats in various states for that as well.
Let's get into a real world example. You mentioned Firefly. So this is a ship you worked with Ocean Planet Energy, and it is to help students in the tri-state area get out on the water, get some experiential learning. But the design of this vessel is really important. It's a large ferry, I think 49 feet, and it's gonna hold a lot of people on there, and it's all being powered by Lithionics, not just the house, but the propulsion. And I just love to hear all about this because you really were the man behind the design, along with Bruce Schwab from Ocean Planet Energy.
Yes, Ocean Planet Energy is one of our master distributor in the marine market,
right?
Because they're so excellent at designing the systems and doing schematics and drawings and diagrams and making sure everything, the whole integrated system, is just right. And occasionally they come into special requests of customers. So this had to be a Coast Guard approved vessel, and one of their requests for this particular project is that all the batteries had to have a vent with a tube that would exit the quarters of where people are living, so that if there was any thermal runaway event, which our batteries wouldn't catch on fire, but would just exit salt-based fumes, that those fumes would be exiting out of the compartments where there could potentially be people or individuals. And so the current vents that we had were a flush mounted vent that was just more of a pressure relief vent that would basically operate in the compartment that it's in.
Right.
So what we designed, and that's kind of another one of our specialties, as things come up we have a great team of engineers. In fact, we have more engineers than we have account managers
Yeah.
and sales and marketing people. I mean, the amount of engineers that we have. And so immediately, once they saw the request, the engineers got working on it.
Yeah.
And they even had the request even further because we had certain type of plastic vents that could be used to do this. And they wanted one that was made out of metal, that if there was heat, it wouldn't even have a potential of melting. And so the engineers designed a metal vent system that could go on that particular battery, and it actually can go on all our batteries now if it's requested. So this metal vent has an ability to put a hose exiting out to wherever you want the hose to exit. Again, we don't expect it to ever be used, because the battery would have to be subjected to a voltage that it would almost be impossible to subject it to get it to go into thermal runaway.
It automatically shuts off as soon as it knows those temperatures are rising.
So if that, it would have to be all the electrical systems in the battery would fail and every backup protocol would fail. But it's a last case corner scenario that if the batteries went into thermal runaway, any exhaust from it could be directed out. And so that was the requirement, and we were able to do it within the time frame that they needed it designed, and now we offer it to anybody who wants that extra added feature.
Yeah, so for anyone who's watching, they basically created a box that would essentially go right here.
In fact, this is the flush mounted vent.
Here it is, right there.
That's the flush mounted vent that we replaced, and the metal box goes right over that place. It's mounted in, and then there can be a barb at the bottom of that metal, and then the hose connects to that and vents out. And
then it can go like out a window or something. So essentially, no matter what, there's going to be no exhaust in the actual vessel.
In that almost impossible corner case scenario, the exhaust wouldn't go in a compartment in the boat. It would be directed out.
Right. And so for a project of this size, it's so important for it to be safe. But I want to talk about the actual power system, because there's like almost 100 batteries in there, I think.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, this was really exciting to work on a system this large. So the propulsion system, really, they wanted so much, what you would say, fuel to be able to be propelled on battery power for such an amount of time, and then they could just come back at the end of the day and then recharge.
Charge it up.
So we have what's called a plug and play system, where the battery modules, as you know, instead of like this particular one where there's terminals, there's no terminals, and the cables come out of the battery to a connector. And if you can imagine, a battery was a little bit longer than this, about half the size, and that module is 51 volts, 165 amp hours. So that's 8.4 kilowatts of energy in one battery.
So just for anyone who might not know, what does that like roughly equal? Like how many hours of power maybe, or?
Sure. So in terms of, it depends on the amount of energy that is being pulled out of that battery. But if you look at a typical lead acid battery, that's what we call a group 31, that's 12 volts, 100 amp hours.
Right.
So this battery would be more than 4 times that.
Okay. Right.
And it would actually be like 8 times that in terms of energy.
Wow.
And so they didn't just have one of those modules, but 6 plugged into a combiner port and then a BMS. And then they didn't just have one bank of those. They had 6 banks of those. So it was, again, a credible amount of energy and power.
Right.
They even used our own chargers that we've developed, CAN bus chargers, where 16 chargers would charge that when they get back to shore power and plug in for fast charging, so that it would fuel up quick. Because that's another aspect of lithium that is a very positive aspect, is you can charge it very quickly and have it charged up. And that's why I'm surprised that when you have a cell phone now, you just plug it in and in 20 minutes it's full.
There you go.
Yes. And so these batteries, this whole system is powered by our CAN bus chargers that charges it up perfectly. And then they can go out on the water and just have quiet, perfect, no noise.
Yeah.
And the safety aspect of not only having UL, but the event system and everything, it really satisfied the state and the Coast Guard. And it was really exciting, and we really love developing products as each customer sees one more thing that could even make it even more safe, one more thing that they thought of that they want added onto it. We're all about adding and continuous improvement.
Innovating, really. Do you know off the top of your head how many hours that boat is going to be able to run off of?
I think they're in the finishing stages of it.
Yes.
So I haven't gotten the final numbers of what their power consumption is, but I will get back to you.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out for it. Well, that is fantastic, and really sounds like a game changer for everyone out there.
Yeah, and really the same system now can be put on smaller vessels in a smaller scale.
Right.
I mean, they could just do one bank of 6 batteries or half a bank of 3 batteries. Some vessels might only need 1 or 2. I mean, we have some sailboats that just one battery and BMS, and it's more than enough power than they'll ever need. And of course, and because that was a propulsion system, but for the house power system, they only needed like 4 24-volt, 315 amp hour batteries, and it just powers all of their inverters and powers all of their consumables. And so so that, of course, that one was propulsion and house power.
Right.
But vessels can, if they already have a motor that's a gas powered, they can just do the house power.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many different ways that lithium can be incorporated. But when they do incorporate lithium, they definitely will want UL full listing. They'll want the safest battery. These aren't, of course, plastic. They're powder-coated aircraft aluminum. I mean, they're sealed for marine use. I mean, the sealing process that they do in this is so tight and so secure that it's made, for the harsh environments. And being that it's powder-coated, I mean, they're too pretty to be batteries, but.
And additionally, you can set them up with solar, which we're going to get into it in another episode about charging, which is coming up. So keep an eye out for that. Phil, you've given us so much insight into the world of lithionics and marine power systems. For the listeners out there who are maybe considering shifting to a lithium system, what would you tell them?
Well, the first thing I would say is whatever your voltage on your particular vessel is. So if you have a 12-volt inverter, we have a 12-volt battery system that you can most likely keep your inverter, keep your solar charge controllers, and even the alternator charging. We have battery-to-battery chargers that will charge off of the alternator that they have that's already charging their cranking batteries. And so really they can keep a lot of what they already have. So if it's a 12-volt system, we can do a 12-volt lithium system. If they have a 24-volt inverter and a 24-volt alternator and whatnot, we can make a 24-volt system.
Yeah.
We can make these battery packs as 12 volts modules, as 24-volt modules, or as 48-volt modules, which we call 51. And so if they have a 12-volt inverter, a 24-volt inverter, a 48-volt inverter, you can get a lithium system in that voltage range without having to change out absolutely everything.
Right.
And if there is some items that aren't compatible, like if they have an old solar charge controller, most likely they don't want to replace it anyway and get a more efficient one, an updated one. But so just keeping that in mind, and then really also keep in mind that our lithium systems are scalable. It's not like lead acid, whereas you put a system in and then if you wish you had more, it's too late because you used them for 6 months or a year and now you can't add on to them. With lithium, you can use it for a year, even up to 2 years, and say, I wish I had more, and go ahead and add more. Because of lithium's longevity, it's scalable in a much greater time than lead acid or AGM batteries. So they can start out with what they think they need without worrying that, should I have gotten more? You can always add another module in. So that's another big plus.
Yeah. And then probably with like the weather, the conditions, you're going to want to make sure it's safe, but also not able to get water in it, right?
Right. Whatever lithium battery, it's a must to have UL listing.
Yeah.
It's a must to make sure that it's made for the marine environment, that it's a sealed battery, that it can, it's not going to have water intrusion. And then, of course, it's a plus to go with a company that is really manufacturing the batteries and making them and testing them, not just because you don't want to be, it's better to test the batteries up front and make sure they're good quality
before they even go out, before they even leave the door.
So I would say those three things is the UL safety, made for the marine environment, and then one that has a proven track record of reliability to where they're tested before they go out into the customer's hands.
Awesome. And we'll do a little shameless self-plug here that if you're interested in a lithium system, want to learn more, you can go to our Get a Quote page. You don't have to promise that you're going to buy from us, but if you're just interested in learning more, we have our experts like Phil here to help you along the way. But I just want to say, Phil, thank you so much for joining us. This man is always at his desk on the phones. I can never get him, but he has been a saint in helping me get this scheduled and coming and giving us his knowledge. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Any last comments, Phil? Any final thing to say to the viewers at home?
I would just say lithium is the future.
Yep.
And just like any technology, whether it's technology that has to do with their anchors, technology that has to do with their generators, technology that has to do with anything on their boat. Once you get the advanced technology, you'll never want to go back.
That's the truth, isn't it? Well, guys, you can catch us next month with our next episode, and we will be talking about solar chargers, all the different ways that you can configure your systems. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment below if you have any questions, and we will happily answer them in the next episode. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you have a great day.